147s and free-flowing exhaust. Alrighty guys, the moment you've been waiting for, some of you anyway, is I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a rundown when it comes to my newest purchase, thanks to everyone that supports the channel and everyone like John Lund and everyone that donates on the super chats. None of that would have been possible without you guys. So this is a 2014 GT500, formerly known as the tax collector. Now what I'm going to do before I talk about it is pull it out of here, get you a cold start video. This thing starts ridiculous. Now the issue with the car up north was it was cold, and with a car that has massive cams like this one, big injectors running on E85, it does not like to start. So I'm going to pull it out and get some room so I can actually talk about it and not have to like bump into everything in my tiny little peasant garage. Hopefully this is a good angle so you'll be able to hear it, and I'll pull it outside. So it is Florida, but the cold start should not be bad. The car should technically start right up. Warm out. You got it. Car should start better than that, but we'll work on it. So here you go, giving you a nice little look at my new purchase, 2014 GT500. Now I'm not a Shelby guy. I don't care that it's a Shelby. What I do care about is that it's safe. This car, for most of its life, was a grudge car, and it did not have any of the safety equipment that, in my opinion, was necessary in order to run it safely. When the new owner bought it, he basically said, well, before you even ship it to Pennsylvania, we're going to go ahead and install a TIG Vision roll cage, which is super high quality. I highly suggest you guys get a very good roll cage when it comes time to play with a serious car like this. It has a very beautiful tuck. I'm saying you don't even know there's a cage in it if you stand here, right? Obviously, if that bar is removed, let's get on the other side and take a look. Obviously, if since this bar is removed, could you tell it has a cage in it? Like, really looking at it, could you tell it has a cage? You'd almost have to, you know, really take a good close look at how snug TIG Vision puts everything. Very nice. Over the little main hoop here, over into the dash. I mean, this is a legit job they had to work their ass off to accomplish. And it has removable swing outs, has Stroud seat belt similar to the Fairmont, actually same exact setup as the Fairmont, and it comes through the GT500 seats, their little slot there. Okay, so I wanted to talk to you guys about the shifter quick, because that's one of those things I kind of had to get used to. This car does have a super badass turbo 400 transmission. I'll get you guys specs on it later on, but it's one of those transmissions that the customer went, you know what, I never want to worry about this thing again. And it cost him well north of probably 10 grand plus converter to get him something super stout. So obviously, as you're looking at the shifter, that's the park position. Let me put the parking brake up. So if you want to get it out of the park position, obviously you can just nudge it forward, and then you have to press this lever down. It's a whole process. Then you go forward, and then you let go of everything. Now when you're at the track and you're in first gear, which is that guy, when you launch the car on the trans brake, you don't do anything with these guys. You just nudge this guy forward when you want to shift the car. So you go, you know, you launch, and that's it. Your run is over. Then you want to get out of there, you have to, you know, make your way back. There you go. So you don't actually have to press it to upshift. You just press it to downshift. So boom, boom, one more time. Very easy. Okay, and then if you go here, it's neutral. Work your way back, work your way back, work your way back, work your way back. Now, that's the one that screwed me up, reverse. That one says reverse, but that's not how this car goes into reverse. This car goes into reverse a little differently than other cars because it does have a trans brake setup. So let's show you how this car goes into reverse. Let's start at number one. Let's just put it in park. And let's start the car. Oh, there you go. Where's the keys? It should start now because it did kind of warm up, got up to temperature, so it shouldn't have an issue starting now. It shouldn't. Just like that. Okay. Now, let's say you want to get going forward. Second, let's go first. That's first. Okay, so you'll see the car go forward. Want to go in reverse, what you do is you put it in neutral and you hit the trans brake button and you hold it down and it'll go backwards. Let's show you everything in one shot. So that took a little getting used to. I was like, okay, that's a thing, so I have to be mindful of that and remember that. But anyway, now the nice thing about this car is it is not a gutted tin can. It is a, for all intents and purposes, still fully loaded car. The only weight reduction the car has is a really nice set of Scott Rod panels for a rear seat delete. Now I am pretty sure I'm gonna have to take those apart because I think the sending unit telling me the level of fuel in it is incorrect. So I think the siphon tube got caught in the sending unit. Now what is this little guy here? Well, that's an air shifter. That's right, guys. This thing shifts based on the predetermined RPM that you set the shift light to. So if you technically want to just launch in first, and just let the car shift on its own with an air shifter, click, 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 and you set it to 6,800 RPM, 7,000, 7,500 RPM, it will shift at the predetermined RPM you set this shift light to. So that's a nice little feature that Jake Long added at Power by the Hour. Now this steering wheel is gonna go. There's no leverage, it's way too small, and it's, in my opinion, honestly, dangerous. It's not something that I feel comfortable getting leverage in. So I did request a stock steering wheel get shipped back to me. So that's gonna get shipped back to me, and I'll probably be selling this guy or just put it in the Fairmont, probably put it in the Fairmont, I don't know. But I do not recommend a small steering wheel on a high horsepower car like this. Maybe you disagree and that's fine, but honestly, I like a little leverage and the stock steering wheel did fine. So let's show you guys the power plant. This car has a built 5.8. It's been built for 3 years or so, and it's been stout. Hasn't had issues or anything of the sort. Now, the power plant. Built 5.8, has a UPR catch can on the blower. Probably have to check on that guy. Has a Braille battery, you know all about Braille batteries. So this car has a I believe it's a 4.5. I'm not 100% how Whipple designates their blowers. Now, everyone's like, whoa, you're gonna get the new 3.8? No, I'm not gonna get the new 3.8. This thing just works. So why would I mess with something that just works? Okay, it has currently a 3.5 pulley, and this is the combo that it went 8.1 at 169 on in Pennsylvania, and you saw how all that went down. If you guys remember the video with Donnie, it has a true return system, meaning fuel comes in and actually returns. It keeps circulating, which I'm not a huge fan of. I prefer deadheading. Now, a lot of you might disagree with me, but I really don't care. Deadheading, in my opinion, and returning at the regulator is similar to this, but a lot of people want equal pressure. But if you deadhead it, you get equal pressure and you're returning at the regulator. But people don't understand that with pump dynamics. They think they know everything because, you know, someone tells them to. But yeah, 4.5 Whipple, I believe, 4.5 Whipple. Now, the customer did take it, the previous customer, previous owner, did take the inlet and sent it over to Wilson Manifolds. And what he did was, he said, hog it way out. Problem was, they hogged it out so much that Power by the Hour had to clearance the firewall right here. I think Harvey did the work. Basically clearance the firewall to accommodate the inlet being hogged out that much, which is, you know, necessary. Now, in the future, now that there's 3.1 TVSs available, I'd be interested, but honestly, not really. I mean, if this thing goes 7.8, 770s consistently, I don't see a need to, you know, get a 3.1 TVS on there or a 3.8 Whipple on there. I honestly, to be honest with you, I don't want to represent any blower company at this point. I just want to have fun, because representing any company comes with its own drama that I don't want to be involved in. Here is the fuel pressure regulator, the MSD two-step. So you guys, I'm not going to get it out in the chip here. That'd be crazy. Now, the car does have welds that need some polishing, but 6 piston Brembos. Another reason I bought this car, it has supremely badass brakes. When I was at the track and it went 169, I did not pull the parachute. I did not, and that's another thing the previous customer did. He installed the parachute. He was like, you know what, we're gonna go ahead and make sure this guy, no, this is supposed to be hooked up. It should be hooked up. Anyway, that's so you don't inadvertently release shit. He wanted to install the parachute because he intended on racing this vehicle. But once I raced it and he realized, you know, it's probably better in the hands of Alex, he said, man, you know, let's work out a deal. So we did. Let's show you the ice tank really quick. So it has I believe it's a PNR, maybe not. Oh, geez, that's a big TIG Vision ice tank, huge actually, and an extra belt in case shit goes downhill. I got myself an extra belt. Awesome centrifugal pump back here. Look at the hoses. Everything was really quality, well made. Everything by TIG Vision and Power by the Hour with the install. This is a huge ice tank. I didn't realize how big of an ice tank this is, but it is pretty massive. And as you can see, the Scott Rod panels from the back, the TIG Vision work on the roll cage, it's immaculate. Again, this car is something I would not have bought if it didn't have all of the safety equipment, and therein lies why I bought it. I want to be competitive and safe. I don't want to go to a track like Bradenton, Orlando, SGMP and have them say, oh, you don't have a cage, get out of here. Oh, you know, you don't have a chute, get out of here. You can't run 81790s without the proper equipment. Yeah, and that's why I bought it. If it was set up the way it was set up previously, I wouldn't even been interested, because then I had to put another $10,000 to $15,000 into it with cage work and parachute, labor, the whole 9 yards to be legal and feel safe in it. Now, tires. Oh, is it running 275s? Nope. It's running 325 50-15s. Now, the 325 50-15s probably are a little oversized for a lot of you guys, but honestly, this thing hooks on sand. If you guys saw it launch on the video, it literally hooks anywhere. There is no issue hooking. Why did this happen? Well, this is old school. This was built a while ago, and at the time, bead locks were available, but not readily available. So the customer had old school, you know, bead locks. So this car is due for a wheel upgrade. I'll probably be selling these wheels, and obviously I'll discount them slightly because they are, you know, modified. I believe they're 15 by 11.5, but I'll have to double check. 15 by 11.5 or 15 by 5. This has stock GT5, 15 by 10, sorry. This does have stock GT500 brakes in the rear. It has only 1/2-inch studs. That's the next upgrade I'll be doing to this vehicle, is 5/8 studs. The Fairmont has 5/8 studs. This car weighs probably close to 4,000 pounds. So even though it's never been an issue, even though they take it apart and they say they're not bent and the axle's not screwed up, that's all fine and dandy. I want 5/8 studs. Call me crazy. I want to make sure that it's never going to be an issue. So modifications, future modifications to get this car on a diet. Well, doors are a thing, but that's really expensive. Glass, also really expensive. So maybe optic armor front and back or everywhere. Doors we'll have to see, because I don't want to roll around with carbon fiber doors. I think it's a bad look. This car is clean as it sits, so I'm not going to shove carbon fiber doors and have mismatched shit on it. If I do somehow come across some carbon fiber doors, I will make sure that everything works. But I kind of like the fact that it has the audio system and everything, but it is heavy. In this car, at the end of the day, needs to be a consistent 7-second car. 780, 770 is where this car should be, to be not only competitive but impressive. Because if it, now that you see that stock Gen 3 Coyotes are going 7s with 10 R80s, well, something like this isn't that impressive anymore if you don't know what you're looking at. Now this thing will go rounds. This thing will go round after round after round after round. You can race this vehicle. Street stuff. Am I gonna do street stuff with this car? Probably not. It's a little too much for the street. Cool, probably do a couple car shows, be a total queer like that, and do the Shelby Dave stuff. Other modification is this guy. It's gonna go. I am not a fan. Gonna get rid of that. Put a PMAS 149 on it and get rid of this whole situation. Is it bad? No. Is it gonna gain any power? No. Do I get rid of this? You fucking damn Skippy. I get rid of that shit. I'm gonna obviously keep the shield, and you can see he has a diffuser in there still, which probably doesn't work, but it straightens out some kind of airflow to make sure the car idles decent, but it's not going down the highway, it's just going down the track. So yeah, there you go. Hopefully you guys get a quick rundown. There'll be a lot of videos on this car, a lot. This is going to be close to a 20-minute video, and there'll be a lot more videos on this car. I'm going to go to the track. I'm going to showcase the upgrades. I'll probably get a set of Bellax or some really nice weld wheel. I've seen some really nice welds that are on Senior's car, but I think Senior's car also has beautiful Bellax, but man, they're not cheap. Bellax are not cheap, but they're light. So if I want to get the car lighter, I have to spend the money, and that's, I think, where the previous customer said, you know what, I'm done. To make this thing light is going to cost an insane amount of money. So he just took the, let me just go 8079 route, where I want to be in the 78 770 range at all times. And because it has an ice tank, and it has the pedigree, and it has pretty much the bones to be a consistent badass car that you can race and campaign, that's going to be fun. Now, if in a year or two someone has a hair up their butt and wants to buy it from me, they can buy it from me. That is not a problem. I'm not a Shelby guy. I'm not married to the Shelby name. I think it's cool, but I don't think it's so cool that I'm going to keep it forever. And if someone really wants to go racing and they want to spend the money, this is probably the car for them. One more thing I forgot to mention is the previous customer, Randall, upgraded, or actually he put a heat exchanger in it. Now, why did he put a heat exchanger in it from VMP? I think it has dual fans, yes. He liked to drive it on the street. So what I want to do is see how this car, once it's registered, how it drives on the street with a Turbo 400 slipping all over the place because the converter has a really high stall. It does have, obviously, the dual fan. And if I see that it's not helping, meaning if I'm cruising the car and the trans temps are through the roof and the car's just acting like a total asshole, I'll take that off and make this a drag only car like it used to be. Not only will I save about 25 pounds in the front, it'll keep me from doing stupid shit on the street. And it all depends on how hot the transmission gets. Okay guys, hopefully you guys got a nice quick rundown of this GT500. Be patient with me. I'm gonna get it on the road, get it on the track. I'm gonna try to campaign it as much as possible. Texas 2K I think is sold out, so I don't think I'll be able to make Texas 2K, but I'll do my best to make local events, Orlando events, Bradenton events, and South Georgia Motorsport Park SGMP events, just to get the car out there, get it seen, get racing in it, start doing cool shit. It'll earn some money if it gets you know, monetized, but at the end of the day, I just want to race and be safe and have a whole bunch of fun in a pretty badass, probably one of the most badass Shelby GT500s on the planet. By the way guys, just so you know, it runs on the factory computer, no standalone stuff. Just wanted to remind you of all of that. All right guys, thanks for listening. We'll talk to you later.